Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is February 12th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing all right. You know, I'm getting through another week. Had some interesting emails this week, so.
What, are you want to elaborate or are you just going to leave it there?
I don't
friends
know.
of the North are not so friendly. They didn't like
I get it.
I understand.
I wasn't making a joke about Canada.
PJ's not happy with the way this is starting.
I got an email from a nice guy that I met recently, and the email asked me for my contact info, and I don't understand. Like, if you emailed me, that means you have my contact info, right?
He's sounds overly nice, overly friendly.
He's an extraordinarily nice human being.
You got the email. Get out of my kitchen. Don't ask for more. What do you mean? Well, you want my social security number, my bank pin?
That's
What's
the thing.
The contact? What's the further contact?
I've been on an email chain with him, which I've replied, which has my signature has my phone number in it too. Like, I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to reply with.
Oh, the amount of waste, corporate waste going on in emails, just asking for things that are already readily apparent is wild. I just listened to my wife on some of these calls. This guy emailing. Oh, thank God we've extricated ourselves from sort of the traditional corporate office where people would say, you know, happy Friday or happy Friday Eve. Oh, we got another one recently. Shoot, I forgot to write it down. Hope you're having like a great Monday. Some sort of nickname for Monday. I'll have to find it and share it later. But you can't ask. You emailed me. What contacts are you looking for? What further information?
What more do you want?
That's tough.
Do you ever think about just not having a cell phone?
Yes, quite often. I would like to shut my email account down entirely.
I think I'd like to go back to just like a wall phone.
And
that's the only way that people can get in touch with me.
With the cord?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And you got to be in the kitchen. Maybe you can stretch it around the corner to the living room or something. And you got it. That's where you go. That's the only place.
I think we should roll it back.
I like this. I love this. I'd be... There's just so much superfluous junk that this instant accessibility has yielded.
Like this podcast.
That's true. In addition to this, is part of the onslaught.
Superfluous junk.
I'll tell you what, we keep ourselves accountable on the gambling front. We hold ourselves accountable, I think. Whereas like the avalanche of most betting content, you could just say lock, hammer, and people don't never come back. You never know. Guy could be 0 for 20 for the year, but he's going to be there every Wednesday telling you hammer, lock, and nobody knows. Nobody knows. They just kind of, and this is why we just need to get rid of it all. Get rid of phones, maybe the internet.
Heard you were getting jammed on TV about Spieth.
A little bit. Like Gary Williams was telling us, you know, essentially calling us Spieth haters. And I've called forward to talk about his top 5 or whatever it ended up being on Phoenix. I said, you know, you're calling me up to answer for the sins of my co-host and the sins of my partner here. And I'm just getting peppered. Like, well, he looked pretty good. I was like, I don't think he's just a guy. That's not me. But yeah, I was getting jammed on TV.
Well, I'd like to point out, no other gambling show was touting Jordan Spieth last week.
Tout. What does tout mean? PJ, do you know this? Like, people, I hear the word like tout.
Do you want me? I'll give you the Webster's definition.
I know what the word means.
When can we qualify as sharps? When can we qualify as sharps? What do we have to do?
I don't know. Do we have to win more? I feel like we've been pretty decent. We've been hanging around.
Tell you what, nobody had Brendan Todd early. We were way ahead on that one.
That is true.
Sabo getting a freaking medal. Nobody had that one. We had it.
Can I point out? There's a lot of Spieth love going on. I'm part of it. I mean, I I bought some waterfront land on Spieth Island last week when everyone was asleep at the wheel. Everyone was trying
it.
Well, everybody was trying to come. Well, I was selling just a Island.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
I now have very strong
Apologies.
property interest on both islands.
Okay.
You know,
got it.
Which puts me in a no lose situation with low cost basis. But the I would like to point out that the Spieth Legion stat that he needed to finish within 12 to finish within 12 of a leader for over an entire calendar year. Well, that wasn't satisfied. It is true that he hasn't finished within 8 shots of a leader in a calendar year because he finished 8 shots behind Tom Dietrich last week.
Thomas got hot, got nuclear.
I'm just pointing out. If you want to go with the glass is half empty, on Spieth, he hasn't finished within 8 shots of a leader in a calendar year. I'm not playing that way. I'm on the Spieth rebound trail. I think he's going to be a top 20 player in the world. Maybe by the end of the year.
Maybe by the end of the year. Will he be on the Ryder Cup team?
It's a good question.
I'll tell you
who'll body bag him. Who's got better hair? Tom Dietrich.
I mean, I don't mean to pop you in this moment of glory, but are we talking about the guy who who really struggled on Sundays until got up 4? We're just going to throw him in the Ryder Cup cauldron and he'll be A-okay?
He's had a better chance at a major than Jordan Spieth has in the last 3 years.
What an arbitrary cutoff. Great. T4 at Valhalla. Was he really in the mix with Xander and Bryson?
The better question is, was that even a major?
Right. Separate question.
I think he was in the final group.
Was he? In a Wiesberger situation almost, though. No? I mean,
what?
he was just kind of along for the ride.
Well, like his play felt like that.
Yeah.
But it didn't mean at the start of the day he wasn't.
Well, it didn't for Bernd either. This is precisely my point. Yes, it didn't for Bernd either, but he was there sort of to attest the score of Rory and walk as the darkness fell around Phil and Ricky. Hey, we're going to throw the script. We have no script, to be clear. We'll throw it out the window, but we're going hard on gambling. Let's go picks right now. Torrey Pines, hammers, touts, locks.
Wait,
fire.
What are we doing? We can't.
I want your picks. No,
I wanted to get your temperature for the event. How are we feeling?
I mean, muted. The host mother just died. He's not going to be there. It's at Torrey Pines because of a horrendous, catastrophic event in Los Angeles. Now they're donating $8 million, Genesis, I saw today, and cars and other, supplies. This is, I'm not down, but I think there's appropriate tenor and tone to take this event. I wouldn't say I'm like what is typically the event of the year at Riviera with a great field and a great market is a little, there's just a more somber tone to take. So that's my temperature, if you're asking me honestly. That said, I'm excited to watch a great field of professional golfers. But yeah, I think it's a little muted. What's your temperature?
Yeah, I think it's a little muted.
Happy about everything? No, I know there's no real good answer, but I think that's the approach.
Tough circumstances all around.
Right.
But that being said, no football on the weekend, and CBS gonna be dialing up some plays. So I think it could be super fun. Now, the weather could get spicy down there. I think an atmospheric river might be coming last I checked.
Seems like we might have a little wind. It's not going to be firm. It seems like we got a lot of rain in the or some rain in the intervening weeks since the last, whatever it is, the Farmers Insurance Open a couple weeks ago. So it won't be as firm as it was the first time. Scheduled for the week, the Genesis Invitational is at Torrey Pines South Golf Course. It's all south, no north. In San Diego, it's 4 to 8 on Thursday and Friday, 1 to 3 3 to 7 on Saturday, 1 to 3, 3 to 6:30 on CBS on Sunday. Notables are Ludwig Aubert, Patrick Cantlay, Wyndham Clark, Hideki Matsuyama, the defending champ, Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Thomas. Tiger Woods has WD'd as of I guess it was Monday morning or afternoon. So that's your quick skinny. Oh, it's $20 million purse, 3.6 to the winner. Hefty purse. I think there's 72 guys in the field. Ended up Min Woo Lee took Justin Rose's sponsors exemption as Rose bumped up into the fall categories, which they can't. They're struggling to figure those out. Some of the, not struggling, but the Aon next 10 that go through the fall, they're like filling these fields like they did at Pebble, so they had enough guys to match up with the quote unquote AMs or celebrities. Yeah. The Swing 5, we had Daniel Berger and Michael Kim join the party via their Phoenix finish. Sponsors are Ricky,
how about a
Spieth, and
new
Woodland.
chipmunk pupil, Michael Kim.
I saw that.
Listen to the Laying Up podcast and signed up for lessons. Do you think he booked a lesson online?
Found a time, booking software.
Do you think it was virtual?
No, I don't. It could have been. Who knows? I hope more of the world interacts with the monk, because that will lead to more monk stories, more monk fallouts, more monk divorce, reconciliation. That could be, just make it a little more spicy for us who subsist on some of that content. Charlie Sifford Award winner in the field is Danny List. Just a great name from UW, Washington. You know what doesn't get in this anymore, Andy? Is that collegiate event that used to be cool. Do you know what happened to that?
Let me tell you what happened. PGA Tour sucks the soul out of anything they operate. That's what happens.
So, Genesis Collegiate winner, the kid from, I think he's Boise, Cole Rueck, won it. Used to get into Riviera on Sunday when it's held, or Monday, I should say. Then they kicked you over to Genesis Scottish Open. Well, that's out now. Now, Genesis Collegiate winner goes to the CUDA, Lake Tahoe, or Tahoe, Reno, Tahoe. So you've gone from Riviera to Renaissance Club to now CUDA, opposite Stableford scoring. So that's what he's not in the field.
What a fall from grace.
So he's not in the field. But otherwise, a good 72 man.
You know what I would do if I sponsored a tour event?
What would you do?
I would say, all right, PGA Tour, I'd like to know the least number of people that can be involved with my event. What's the bare minimum PGA Tour staffing that we can have?
Quote unquote partners or stakeholders? Okay. All right.
And then whatever they say, let's try and do it with half of that.
You need a department of golf efficiency, maybe. Is that what you're suggesting? PJ didn't like that one.
I mean, that might be what's happening with the SSG sooner than later with the PGA Tour.
Well, the prices of the quesadillas have already gone up.
I've heard rumblings that maybe some people aren't thrilled with their investments thus far.
I mean, yeah. It seems like people at certain levels, maybe too many titles. It sounds like at the global home.
Potentially very underwhelmed with their original ideas of what they could do with the money.
Okay. So you would sort of cut it in half. Now, championship management, speaking of,
this would be the superfluous.
No longer has their hands on this event, but legendary stories of when they did get their hands on what was then the Riviera event and just drove it into the ground. Like couldn't find no appetite for tickets. Just kind of took this life out of it. And this was within the last 10, 15 years. Now back out from under that the championship management, though they got their fingers in more than ever, cognizant, players and everything else. So
there's plenty of other events they can torpedo.
Yeah. So that's your
Cognizant is barreling down. That's going to be the biggest story to watch. Do they make it a birdie factory again?
How do you make PGA National just? How do you take the trap out of the bear trap? Right?
Make it the mouse trap.
Who's your pick for the Genesis Invitational Torrey Pines? PJ, you want to lead us off?
Rummaging around, rumbling around, trying to figure out who fits my model the best.
What's your model?
I think the scent is off this guy. He's got a outstanding career at Torrey Pines, but people are going to be off his scent because he missed the cut at the Farmers. But he's coming off knee surgery. And he had a good week at Pebble last week. He's going back to Torrey, where, of course, he's played great at Tony Finau.
That's a good pick. I thought about him. But instead, got big time models just flashing sirens. My model is flashing lights. I'm going off the board. Guy who I'm told has a little bit of form at Torrey Pines. I'm going to go with Harris English. Just going to double dip in 4 weeks. Doing it more for the amusement than anything. Double dip and the possibility that a guy can win the same place twice within a month. And just, he's feasted there. U.S. Open, he did great there. And I'm just going to go Harris English double dip. Maybe makes the Ryder Cup on 2 hot weeks at the same place in January and February on the Ryder Cup team. Maybe, at East Lake, all because he just went ham at Torrey Pines South Course. Harris English, just for the idea of it. PJ, who do you like?
I'm taking a big swing, going signature event, a lot of money out there.
Yeah.
Possibly stupid, but just gonna do it. I'm taking Rory.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
I think it is a great pick.
Taking Rory. I got to battle back after. I had a bunch of people tweet at me that Kenny Gainwell over 10.5 settled at 10. So we got to battle.
You lost by a half yard on that?
Yeah, half a yard.
I didn't. I stopped tracking it. To be completely honest, I didn't watch really much of the second half of the Super Bowl.
I thought that was great. I thought that the Super Bowl sucked because that's all we grew up with. And then the kids needed a dose. The Super Bowl is the worst game of the year in the 90s. The game always sucked. It was a blowout. So this is what we grew up on, kids. You're going to get a bad one. Yeah, I barely watched. But you didn't watch the second half?
I thought it was a perfect game script for Kenny Gainwell over 10.
Oh, so did I. Saquon, they were trying to get Saquon the Super Bowl moment, the touchdown. He had nothing going. Kenny Gainwell, 6 carries for 10 yards. Thanks, Ken. Way to be.
How many carries? 6?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how he got his opportunities. He just couldn't. He lost a couple of yards on the 1 carry. Did that end up jamming you?
Yeah, I think he lost, or maybe back to the line. I don't know. It was stressful right down to the end. But taking Rory, big swing to get back. Back in the black here.
It's a good pick. I mean, it's a guy. Yeah,
it's not much faith. There's not a lot of confidence in the majors there if you're taking them here.
What are you talking? It's the same money.
It is 20 mil. Fewer players.
It's the same money. This is strategery. It's not any indictment on the majors. It's just I want money now.
Yeah, I think his advantage could be accentuated here. Hey, one thing we missed on Sunday, we recorded earlier while we're talking about the Super Bowl. Shout out to Kyle Westmoreland, who won the KFT event. We didn't have time to get to that result, but the former Air Force captain won. He's been up on the tour, went down to the KFT, now won, I think it was the Astara Championship. So shout out to Kyle Westmoreland. I also got a Toasty tale on Sunday. Toasty is apparently the person who sent it to me referred to as Golf's Van Wilder because he's at UF. And he's playing qualifying rounds with the current team and posting scores with their current team. Now it's all internal, Noah Kent and the Poulter kid. And then it's Alejandro Toasty on their whatever, internal qualified rounds.
It's ridiculous.
Golf's Van Wilder down at Gainesville posting scores with the current
I haven't
UFC.
thought about that movie in a long time.
I haven't either.
PJ probably hasn't even seen it.
Well, Bird is like famous now.
He's having a moment.
That's how
again.
I know the story, is that Bird is like a relatively big deal, I feel like, at this point.
People are sharing that his Jameis interaction or activation, whatever that was. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds captured on that one. Continuing on with her. So we got Harris English, Finau, and Rory. Some good picks. Lock them in, hammer it. We're good on that one. Continuing.
FRL.
Who do you like FRL?
FRL potential for all of them.
That's true. I took Dietrich the first time around.
I mean, what a sick bet. What
early.
a sick thing to bet on. First round leader. Like total crap.
For this.
This is a total crapshoot. Complete.
Gambling community's coming after you.
Think about a way just to like a golf betting's hard enough, but think about a way to just flush your money down the toilet. Literally 18 hole. As someone who used to play a fair amount of 18 hole qualifiers, it's complete crapshoot.
Well, one thing that's not a crapshoot is spending your money with B. Dratty.
That's right.
You know you're going to get a high quality item. Look at you.
Yes, I'm on right now.
You got it. I got the Jack Polo. You got the, what is it?
I think it's the Meyer hoodie. Yeah.
You use that SGS 30.
That 30 hits hard there.
Boom. Knocks a nice little pretty penny off that Meyer hoodie. SGS 30 gets you 30% off the entire, whatever's going on in the store, whatever's in your cart or bag or whatever you call it. They want us to talk about the cool hoodie. I've got several cool hoodies. I've got it in a pinkish, salmonish hue. I was wearing it
yesterday.
Got a blue. It's a great sort of mid-range hoodie. It's not heavy, not light, not too light. Some of these you get paper thin. It's not that. It's a good mid-range hoodie.
I will say that one of the great things about living where I live is that it's starting to feel like spring right now. Like you start to see some flowers pop in. The days are getting longer. It's definitely like a spring air. That's an ideal spring piece right there, the cool hoodie.
It's awesome. I'll have that at Augusta, I'm sure. I've got multiple colors. There's also the cool Glazier, the Glazier Polo, which is a new one. It's a new one. It looks really good. Looks good on the website. So they've got that in stock. The cool Glazier Polo, the cool hoodie, 2 hot items, and the Zach short.
Look at that.
Greatest shorts I've ever worn.
PJ, have you seen the movie Cool Hand Luke? Because they got a Cool Hand Luke polo.
Come on, PJ.
No, I have not.
God.
We had to watch that for
we had to watch that in school. Yeah. It was a great movie.
Theology class. I don't know why theology, but I think
Paul Newman.
I know Paul. His salad dressing and his lemonade.
Yeah, right. That's how your generation probably interacts with them.
How many eggs does he eat in that movie? Is it 100?
That's a lot.
You bet you can't eat 100 eggs?
It's a hefty amount. Cool Hand Luke is not a polo, but the cool Glazier is.
No, it's a Cool Hand Luke is a polo on Dratty's website. I'm looking at it right now. That's how why I brought it up.
I just thought you were being cheeky with the cool name. All right. Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff. That's coming out for
PJ,
that's a good spring
you might have to watch
item.
Cool Hand Luke. That might be. I feel like it would help you relate with your subjects. Champions Tour Minute.
Yeah.
Everybody on the Champs Tour has seen Cool Hand Luke.
Chopping up about Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Hey,
is he in Chinatown? Who's the Chinatown actor?
Jack Nicholson.
That's Jack.
Who I used to call Jack Nicholas as a kid. My parents would laugh at me. Jack Nicholson.
That's a great movie. I get those
confused all the time. Sure. SGS 30 is the code as well. That's a great code. That'll get you 30% off at bdratty.com. Our great friends at bdratty.com. All right, continuing on with our schedule for the week. Light week this week, Andy. There's no DP World Tour as they move from the Middle East to the magical Kenya Open next week. No LPGA as they go from the States to the Asian spring swing. So you got none of those. Just got Genesis Invitational and the Chubb. We got Live Adelaide. We'll get to that in a minute. But you got the Chubb Classic, 12-3 on Friday, 3 to 5:30, Saturday and Sunday. This is where is this at? Oh, Tiburon, the black course, Naples, the remastered Norman course. Only 1.8 million. Maybe Chris DeMarco is onto something. 1.8 million total purse for these guys. That's half of the winner's check only. Half of the winner's check, and they're playing the entire purse. Chris DeMarco might be onto something with his outrage about what they're playing for on the Champs Tour. Chubb Classic purse is 1.8 million.
I have a good college friend who lives on the black course. He sent me a picture today. The view of a hole, the green, with a scoreboard from his backyard.
Wow.
He said, I'm sure this means nothing to you, but it's pretty cool to me. I didn't think they play tournaments on the black course. I mean, if they host next year, I might advocate for us to go down there.
Why? Because we have lodging?
We would have free lodging.
I almost texted
on the
you
course.
today.
On the course. It's a good time of year to go down there, too.
Yeah, it is. Hey, can you tell them to walk around and see if the inflatable colon is part of a traveling deal? And that's like throughout the tour.
I'm gonna
just have them bounce around. The Cologuard Classic is in less than a month. I was looking at the credentialing portal today, contemplating pulling the trigger. I said, can we send VJ to Arizona twice within like 4 months for Champions Tour events? I don't know if we can do it, but the Cologuard is our Super Bowl.
I think we almost have to send him to the Cologuard.
All right, don't. Business Pete is just going to be mortified when he hears this part of the podcast. Notables, because there are those in the Champions Tour. Stephen Ames, your defending champ. KJ Choi, Darren Clark, Ernie Els, Paul Goydos made notables. Bernhard Lahner, Jesper Parnevik, Steve Stricker, and David Toms. That's your PGA Tour Champions coverage. So, there's not a lot going on this week. We have the Let Aramco series in Riyadh. That's on Golf Channel and Coffee Golf. So it's really just the Champs Tour and the Genesis at Torrey Pines, Live Adelaide. Hey, why is there no TGL? You think Tiger put his thumb on the scale and said, oh, wait, This is kind of a pain in the ass to have it during a tournament week, and you're not doing it during my tournament week?
I do.
Extra prep for the P-Day triple header next week, too.
Well,
more
that
anticipation.
Seems like kind of an overdose, and they could have spread it around to this week.
P-Day.
Right? We hear about how there's no real conflict. These are all complementary. This is all this. I don't know. Maybe it's some other reason, but it's pretty dead Monday and Tuesday as we record this in the sports world. Feels like a good week to have a TGL. I just wonder if Tiger kind of said no.
Were you missing it?
I mean, not as much as last Monday when I was really missing it, but I would have taken it. Would have taken it tonight. Last night we had a Cavs game and a bean pot.
Late night recording.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't mind that.
I gotta say, I'm like a very depressed Bulls fan right now. Have you seen some of these quotes from our GM?
He just wants to make the playing game or something, right? I saw that one. That would be a success.
People are asking him like how he's planning to build a roster, and he said, it's clear there's two clear paths to build a championship roster. It's either through superstars or accumulating 9 really good players. To which people rightly pointed out, there's literally been no team that has done that successfully.
9, so like the 8th guy is as good as the first guy, and that's just gonna work.
It's like when the Hawks were the 1 seed those back-to-back years, and then got just curb stomped by LeBron.
Yeah, but they had
or
like
the
3 to 4.
The Raptors.
Yeah,
they had like 3 to 4, like pretty good dudes. Like
it's dire though. The other thing that's happened that's awful is like my Kings, who've been a breath of fresh air for my NBA basketball viewing, are effectively the Bulls now. And they've got DeMar and Zach. It's ridiculous. I watched the end of the game last night. It was like I was watching like the Bulls from 3 years ago.
I know that there have been worse franchises record-wise, but they feel very similar of the last 20 years. Just sort of wasted. And Kings kind of wasting away out there. A couple moments of brightness, the Rose stuff, but
I've had
very similar.
I've had multiple people within the NBA world commiserate with me that the Bulls are the worst run franchise in the NBA. And I think that it is an all-time feat that the owner of the Bulls, Jerry Reinsdorf, operates the worst run baseball franchise, the White Sox, and the worst run basketball franchise, the Bulls, in arguably the greatest sports city in the world.
Now, did those people inside the NBA make that comment to you before or after Nico Harrison just disemboweled the entire Dallas fan base?
The discourse was started around Nico Harrison.
All right.
And I said something of God, I'm just happy that it wasn't the Bulls that did that. And they said, I got news for you. You're the worst run franchise of the NBA.
They're ejecting people for saying fire Nico. Dirk is going to Lakers game to watch Luka.
What a disaster!
You guys God, I'd be so mad. Rightfully so. Spieth, Scheffler, they got to be furious. All right, Live Adelaide. Continue with their schedule for the week. Hey, I was reading up on the reserve rules today. This is kind of wild. So all 4 scores count now across the board every day. All scores count. So if a guy gets hurt, what's the deal? You just put a 6 down on every hole and call it a day?
Seems like something they hadn't thought out.
Well, they could put, this is posted today, new substitution policy. If a player, so obviously if he withdraws between rounds, you can put John Catlin or whoever. Andy, it's Ollie Schneiderjans, I believe, is the reserve guy right now. If a player withdraws between the play of 2 holes, the reserve begins on the following hole. Just comes right in. That's kind of incredible. If a player withdraws while playing a hole, the reserve will put his ball in play at the same spot as the original ball and complete the hole. That's kind of revolutionary. Just walk right out under the ropes, put the ball right down. The tour would be much more rigid and much more, Ryder Cup. We're not used to that. Look at that.
Are you worried about multiple injuries, though?
You mean you lose 2 guys? I think these reserve guys got to be in uniform.
Well, I'm saying, what if they run out of reserves?
I know. I think they got enough. They've got guys from, the Saudi youth golf program or something. They've got extras, I believe, beyond sort of Ollie. But you got to be ready. I mean, what happened? Are you hitting balls? You just got to run out. Oh, they need someone on the 4th fairway. He's got 160 in.
They're going to be like Hao Tong Lee.
Yeah, just ready to roll. So that's Live Adelaide. Will be on Fox, FS1, FS2, the whole combo. This is at 11 p.m. Eastern, your American time from Adelaide, which is a party and been their most successful event. It's on FS1 at 11 p.m. on Thursday, FS2 at 9 p.m. on Friday, then switches to FS1 at midnight. Then on Saturday, it's at 9 p.m. on FS2, and they get the main network, Fox, Saturday, 11 p.m., going up against SNL and whatever else. What was the one on Fox, Mad Libs or something? They got that spot, 11 p.m. Saturday night on Fox, the big network, Live Adelaide, kind of their marquee event. So that'll be on Fox late night Saturday night TV. I don't have anything else on Live. Do you?
No, I don't really.
What is
there? What is there to say? I don't think we talked enough about the 12,000 people.
Well, I have updated ratings for the weekend. Now Phoenix is up. Ratings. This is how we look at everything now. Ratings. Phoenix is up to 2.9 after 2.4 last year.
Did Liv crack 20? Did they get to
Josh
20?
Carpenter credits Tom Dietrich. I would just say that's all Jordan Spieth. That's why it's up from 2.4.
I think it was Tom Dietrich. It's clear that people wanted to watch a star from one of the great universities.
I don't think that was
of the world win their first title.
This is final round live ratings. FS1 hit 54,000. FS2 had 31,000 for the finish because FS2 it moved over to FS2 for the finish, 12-3. So 54, then down to 31,000, which is better than 12,000.
It's not very good.
It's a lot of money. Think about all the lights and the fireworks and all they did to put it on during American television hours, and 31,000. Not very good. Do we think, Rex Hoggard in their podcast this week, golf.com or Golf Channel,
the Rex and Lab show.
Yeah.
Two great chaps.
Said the two sides, the Tour and PIF, have come to terms on financials surrounding a deal. They've presented as many as 4 different options for the DOJ to consider, and a deal is expected this quarter, which would mean March 31st, I think, is this quarter. So 4 options have been presented to the new administration DOJ, and a deal is expected this quarter. So sounds like things are moving.
It is getting pushed.
Yes, moving apace. Now, I don't think that means Liv is just going away. I do think they have a lot to sort out. I've heard Bryson ask for a jumbo deal, and as he should. His agent asked for a very big his contract's up. His package asked for a big package, Bryson, and he should. He may be the biggest one in the game right now. And it just went unanswered. Called in and go answered. One ignored. Now I was told that 2 weeks ago. Maybe they've answered in the interview. So I think everything's kind of but the players are kind of antsy about it. Bryson among them. Not antsy, but there's contracts that need to be renewed. And, he's asked for a big deal and they haven't really gotten back to him. So maybe with this deal, there's clarity on this deal. Hoggard says it's coming together. Does that just clear up how Liv negotiates with its own players, everything else? Who knows? But this week we've got 2 events, Liv Adelaide and Genesis Invitational. 2 kind of, I guess Liv Adelaide's the best event of the year on Liv, and the Genesis is typically the best event of the year on the PGA Tour. And you've got guys in disparate places.
I just, you think about how much more juice this would have if it was Rahm and Bryson in this field.
Yeah.
The Tory. You look at the field, it's kind of whoa. That adding those 2 would make a huge difference. I mean, that's the whole thing, right?
It's a good field right
now. It's a good field. It's fine.
Yes.
But I do feel like the Tour, I mean, I think part of this is that Morikawa just has not won in a while. He's playing great golf, but has not won. Xander being hurt.
Are you worried about Xander? He's the only big name who's not here, PGA Tour eligible. This has now been a while, really, since the New York Golf Club played. We haven't seen him since that.
Do you think it was a TGL injury?
No, I don't. Sounds like it carried over from last year, like a rib thing. But I'm worried.
Do you think that he just doesn't want to play on New York Golf Club, and this is part of it? He quiet quit.
Done.
He quiet quit on New York Golf Club. PJ, has there been a player that's just fake injured, that had a fake injury in New York sports?
Well, I had to reference Matt Harvey this morning. That I'll bring him back up. During 2015, the first time the Mets were actually good, Boris decided to play a little hardball and said Matt's not going to pitch in the playoffs because we want to protect his arm. He ended up pitching in the playoffs, but that was a whole 2 or 3 week news cycle that Matt Harvey doesn't want to pitch in the playoffs because he's protecting his future arm for Scott Boras. That could be, Xander's got 2 titles to defend this year. Could he be just trying to throw Cam Young out there to the wolves in the simulator?
Do you think the next time Cam Young tees it up in TGL, he'll speak?
No.
Just
probably
not speaking.
He can continue not speaking if he putts as well as he did in Phoenix, because that was a nice improvement. I feel like we're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, could be. All right, let's move on. What else do we have? News. We already hit ratings. We already hit ratings. Hoggard nugget that the deal's going to get done this quarter. I could see them trying to have it done for the players, which is like March 10th, 11th, 12th. And that becomes like a big thing. And then they don't have to talk about it at the Masters. I don't know. It feels like a possibility. I did enjoy this quote from Daniel Berger on the Aon Swing 5 where he got in. He goes, I asked for sponsors into Pebble.
Yeah, I saw this.
I didn't get it. So I was playing with a chip on my shoulder to get it done without needing anyone's help. So he was motivated, chip on his shoulder for not getting a sponsors invite to Pebble Beach. He had one there, to be clear, but he didn't make it over Ricky, Spieth.
Well, shot across the bow to Spieth, huh?
Well, now he's in there via the Swing 5. He made it on his own because of that chip on his shoulder. Other news: Open exemptions, British Open, that is, Royal Portrush, the Open Championship, giving Liv exemptions just a day or two, a week or two after the USGA does for their Open Championship. It's the top player, not otherwise exempt. I think they're also giving final qualifying international series events, final qualifying spots, or the qualifying series, the Open qualifying series. Is it 3 spots from that event in Macau, right? So, I mean, that's like you would do in the old days I guess it used to be like the Greenbrier or John Deere top guys get like 3 or 4 spots. So
Cam Davis still be sitting at home.
Maybe he goes to Macau.
He'll win win in Detroit again and sit at home.
And then last but not least on news, TaylorMade is done with Dustin Johnson or vice versa. I don't know. They've not renewed him. He's definitely still playing TaylorMade equipment or had a TM driver in Riyadh. This was big news. So the only clubs he's ever played since he turned pro in 2007, he's just been TaylorMade all the way, and now he's not. I think he's got to go to Parsons. Boom.
Do you think he's got the time to go get fit for new clubs? Or would that be too much practice time?
I think he has the time, just not the desire. That's what I think
say. He might just keep playing the same clubs.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, this is the great uncluttered mind of Dustin Johnson, where guys want to tinker. Is the grass greener? Like, I don't know, just give me the club. I'm going to stay with one brand as I turn pro and never leave, and just give me the new stuff. If there's a little off, maybe I'll switch. But I mean, this is rare these days, but it feels appropriate for DJ who's just like, I don't know, clubs work, clubs are good. I'm not going to worry about what could be better or tinker with this or that. It's the uncluttered mind of Dustin Johnson, but he is no longer with TaylorMade as they separate. He does have an official jeweler for the 4 Aces. So he does have a jeweler sponsor. He's got an ice guy, but he's no longer sponsored by TaylorMade. I think he's just got to go to PXG. Is there a brand you want to see him jump in?
The jeweler might be in kind. Yeah. No, I don't want to see him jump into that. No. I want to see him play the best clubs. I for one would like to see like one more DJ moment. I mean, like you think about his career, he's delivered so many iconic finishes, whether heartbreak or wins over the last, decade and a half. It's been an amazing career. I want one more. DJ. I don't think that's selfish. I don't think that's asking too much. Can we get one more DJ in a major, whether it's a win or a fold?
Remember how excited we got about his start last week, where he was like 500-600? I was like, maybe he's practicing now.
No.
He finished 44th. He was like 2 better than Anthony Kim out of like 50. Turn.
I think it's over.
No. He finished He finished tied with Martin Keimer, but Martin Keimer is the only one who had a $4,800 weekend bag via the Cleeks.
I think
partnering with.
I think a DJ deep dive is in Friday Golf Podcast near future.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've been doing
Flashback Friday.
Not a Flashback Friday. Just
spotlight on his work.
Is there proof of life on DJ Islander?
I'm happy to. Yeah, no. No proof of life. But he's got a nice guy. He's got a jeweler. I like that. All right. I think that does it for this Wednesday episode. We will talk to you on Friday. Cooking on a flashback for Friday. Send your golf advice.
Are we going to do
emails.
The one about Ballon Isles?
I don't know about that. I had one queued up last week on the small risk. Kevin Stadler winning Phoenix. We never got to it.
Should we just do an entire Flashback Friday episode?
We could do that. I've got a good one cooking. And send your golf advice emails to sgsgolfadvice@gmail.com. We'll get to those Friday. We'll talk to you then.